Okay, so I get really fucking mad. Um, I get triggered when people fucking brag about hitting their kids. Like, if you fucking talk about that shit on stage, I'm totally cool with it. I joke about that on stage, right? But you know what I fucking hate is when somebody goes like, like, my kid knows not to talk back to me because I'll knock him into next week. And, like, you're like, dude, like, bragging that you can win a fucking fist fight with a 7-year-old is not, like, the boast that you think that it is. And it just fucking, and I get, I almost lose job. I almost lost a job once because I just got infuriated by somebody fucking saying that shit. Anyways. So Ethan Klein is talking about Alec Baldwin and Woody Allen doing a fucking Instagram thing, which is actually really funny because fucking Woody Allen doesn't know what Instagram is because he's 86.
Is he really 86 years old?
He doesn't even watch Netflix, dude.
I'm not surprised by that.
He knows his movies are on streaming services, but he doesn't even know which ones. So
he gets at least checks though, right?
Yeah.
That's got to be fun just to get surprised.
Oh yeah. Well, 50 fucking movies, dude.
Yeah, I guess.
But
paid his dues.
But here's the thing. So Ethan is part of the Mia Farrow child abuse cult. The fucking stories that Moses Farrow and Soon Yi fucking told are fucking disturbing. And Soon Yi has fucking loss of hearing in one of her fucking ears because Mia Farrow hit her with a chair. Another time, Moses Farrow says that she fucking stripped him naked because he refused to admit something that she wanted him to admit. She used to say, like, hey, who left that on the floor, you know? And then he'd be like, oh, it was there when I got here. And then she would, like, beat him until he admitted that he did it. So lying is, like, a big part of the Mia Farrow cult. And basically, she used to use the two Asian kids as fucking domestic servants. I've always felt that the whole hatred of Soon Yi and the whole hatred of Woody Allen was kind of racist. Because every time somebody wants to make Woody Allen look creepy, he has 2 daughters. He and Soon Yi have 2 daughters. One's white, one's Asian. They're adopted. But anytime, if you go on their Instagrams and you look in their comment sections, the Asian girl gets all this fucking hate. And then they just leave the white girl alone. And every time they want to make Woody Allen look creepy, they show him with a picture of his Asian daughter. Like at a fucking basketball game. And then they'll, like, say that he married her or something like that, which doesn't even make sense. Anyway, so this is Ethan Klein
How does that
participating in that bullshit.
I never understood that whole thing.
What?
How he married his
how they
adopted
met?
daughter.
Okay. So this is what happened. First of
There's
all,
a documentary about my Netflix.
here's the racist. Here's the racist thing. Here's another racist thing. They always portray Soon Yi as this fucking feeble-minded sucker who got groomed or whatever. She's like a 50-something-year-old woman. And it fucking aggravates me that somebody like Ethan Klein could tell a 50-year-old fucking woman who she can and can't marry. But she was like 7 years old. She was found on the streets of Korea, 7 years old, eating garbage, essentially. Surviving on stealing food and shit.
Yeah.
She was adopted, or as Mia Farrow puts it, captured, and was brought to the United States by an abusive mother who treated her as a domestic servant. And so Soon Yi, one day, who didn't really know Woody Allen when she was growing up, but when she got into college...
He's huge in Korea.
Well, he didn't like kids. That's, by the way, first sign of a pedophile is a motherfucker who just hates kids, but whatever. I
hate they're so sexy.
Yeah, I know. Remember, yeah, so he hates that they're so sexy. So she decides, so one day she fucking basically steals her abuser's ex-boyfriend at a basketball game, apparently. And then she puts herself through college. Well, obviously,
was her abuser her mom?
Yes, her abuser was her mom, Mia Farrow. And she became a special education professor. And by the way, if you ever watch Wild Man Blues, she's a ball breaker. So I get very, Ethan Klein would not talk this kind of shit to Soon Yi's fucking face.
Woody Allen.
Yeah, of course he'll talk to you. He'll talk to anyone that will talk to him because he's a fucking child of his own
Why did you
daughter, for
unmatch
Christ's
me?
sake. Probably do an interview with me, for God's sake. He's so desperate.
Yeah, dude, because he's fucking known for his lack of fucking, for his love of publicity. That's why you see him on Jimmy Fallon playing fucking Pictionary, you fucking moron.
Yeah, I used to love when he would go on O&A. It was so funny.
They would take him, too.
So how old was
It's a 30-year age gap.
But how old was Soon Yi when they met?
She's 19, something like that.
Oh wow, fuck.
Well,
off.
no, she knew him because she was her mom's boyfriend. But he didn't live there, and he didn't pay any attention to them. He just avoided them. And in fact, she hated him because she hated her. And she thought that he was a moron, because of why, which he was, because why would you be with this sociopath?
Yeah.
And that was her attitude. And then later on, they got to know each other when she was, because Mia Farrow's like, you got to spend time with my other kids. And so he started taking her to basketball games. And then one day he's like, hey.
Was he a fucking Knicks fan?
I'm from New York.
I'm a piece of shit Knicks fan. All right.
I love you, Woody. Instagram Live with Woody.
I just find it endlessly incredible that, Alec Baldwin is one of these guys who's like diehard lib. He's probably like Harvey Weinstein's a monster and all this shit. And,
Harvey Weinstein isn't?
This industry, how could this industry let this happen? And here he is interviewing. Now, let me tell you, let me read his caption here. Let me preface this by stating that I have zero interest in anyone's judgment and sanctimonious posts here. I'm obviously someone who has my own set of beliefs and could not care less about anyone's speculation. If you believe that a trial should be conducted by way of an HBO documentary, that's your issue. Now listen to what I'm going to say. This was not just an HBO documentary. It had his ex-wife, what's her name?
Ex-girlfriend.
Mia Farrow.
Ex-girlfriend.
The daughter, Farrow, whatever the fuck.
Close enough.
Mia Farrow.
Mm-hmm.
It's good that he fact-checked
And
this.
the daughter, his daughter, that he R-worded. And another one of his son.
Okay, that he lost me there. What the fuck does R-worded mean?
My guess would be raped.
Are we not allowed to say that?
I don't know. My guess would be R-worded.
Yeah, he didn't do that. And her story falls apart. She's had 10 different fucking stories, and the story is so fucking absurd that it's impossible to fucking believe. But here's the fucking thing. That's one witness. Coincidentally, I don't know if this is a coincidence, the white girl who is reliant upon her mother's money. And then you got two. Now, I don't know if this is a coincidence. I do. Asian immigrants who are both licensed therapists and can corroborate it with two more witnesses to say that they were abused systematically. That she took a fucking kid in a wheelchair and dragged him down a flight of steps, and then took that same kid and locked him into a shed overnight.
Jesus.
I'm just fucking saying, Ethan Klein has kids, so someone should look into that.
That corroborated the story. This is not just an HBO documentary.
It's just an HBO documentary. That's all they have. He has the Yale New Haven child abuse fucking team who researched him, who investigated him, and then New York State investigated him. Both came out and both came to the conclusions that Dylan Farrell was coached by her mother. And he took a fucking lie detector test. Whatever.
Family, including his daughter, came out and told exactly what he did to her. His fucking own daughter.
He did one thing to her, and then he did another thing to her, and then another thing to her, but, she was 7 years old, so.
that, there was another, his stepdaughter that he molested. And
He doesn't have a stepdaughter.
Well, then maybe our word it is something different because he said molested. I don't know.
That's probably what he meant. Yeah, that's probably what he meant.
Do you think? Okay.
Yeah. He doesn't have a fucking stepdaughter. These
It'd be
guys.
that. The only thing I could think of is that or retarded, and retarded does not make any sense in the context. So
Yeah. I don't know, dude. He strikes me as an 8-year-old and fucking. I don't know. When I look at him, I see an 8-year-old. You know, I like that prank that they pulled with Steven Crowder. I love that prank that they pulled with Steven Crowder, and it benefited like Sam Cedar a lot, the Majority Report a lot. So I really love that they did that. But that's it. And you know what else? The only reason he did that is because he couldn't beat Steven Crowder in a fucking debate. So I'm paraphrasing a Woody Allen joke. If you think Steven Crowder is slow, then Ethan Klein is dumb like a dog or a horse or something.
classic bit.
All right, that's all I wanted to say.